Okay, so you need to identify in the background how it is going to transpose and then how the data is coming. Okay, so that much thing you need to identify. Okay, so if you check these vitals, okay, finding domains, it might capture more than one time based on the clinical trial planned thing. So it might capture in the prior drug, post drug, as well as the different visits, or is it captured only once? It depends. Okay, if it's captured multiple times based on your time points or visit, it will get the multiple records. Okay, so when we get the multiple records with the horizontal, please make sure that not done. It will give the number of records increased per subject, and then this is the redundant information we don't require that much. Okay, so in the SDTM always we prefer that the information should not be redundant until unless it's required for the structural use. Okay, so fine. Again, this units also will be standard. Okay, why? Because in the CRF level itself mentioned. Okay, these are the going to capture in this. Then that will be we will add it in the CRF. If in the CRF it's not mentioned, we don't have any idea how units are going to capture in the raw data. Then we are not going to annotate these units in the CRF. Okay. So far, any questions from anybody? Starts with play the SAS in the means. Okay. ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాయి. Slowly. Okay. సో మ్యాక్రోస్ గో త్రూ చేశారు అందరూ ఎవరైనా జనరల్ మ్యాక్రోస్ ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి అందులో? మ్యాక్రోస్ ఎక్కడ ఇందులో హేమంత్ సబ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ మీకు అంటే ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఒక ఏరియాలో అంటే ఇంకొక ఏరియాలో మనకు అది పర్సెంట్ ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసి కాల్ చేయడం తెలుసా? సో మీరు ఒక పని చేయండి, నేను ఒక రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తాను. లేకపోతే ఏజెస్ట్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ మ్యాక్రోకి ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఉంది కదా, సెటప్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేయండి. సెటప్ ఫైల్ లో అన్ని పర్సన్ ఇంక్లూడ్ కాల్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఈ ఫైల్ ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని మొత్తం ఒకేసారి ఇంక్లూడ్ చేస్తే ఈ మ్యాక్రోస్ అన్ని ఒకేసారి బ్యాక్ లో రన్ అయిపోతాయి. సో ప్రతి సెషన్ కి ఏంటంటే మీరు ఓపెన్ చేసి రన్ చేసుకోవాల్సిన పని ఉండదు. సో రన్ చేసేసుకుంటే ఏమవుతుంది అంటే డైరెక్ట్ బ్యాక్ లో రన్ అయిపోతాయి. సో నేను ఇస్తాను, నేను మీకు ఇస్తాను ఒకసారి రేపు అలా చూసిస్తాను. సో దాని అంటే ఒక రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తాను, దాని ప్రకారం మీరు పాత్ ఇవన్నీ చేంజ్ చేసుకోండి, మీరు మీ ఓన్ గా మీ డెస్క్టాప్ కి మీరు చేంజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, సో నేను ఇక్కడ రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తాను. సో దాన్ని బట్టి మీరు ఏంటంటే ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ టైం రన్ చేసుకుంటే అయిపోతుంది. రన్ అయిందా? సో బేసికలీ ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది అంటే మీకు తెలిసింది ఎదర్ విజిట్ అండ్ విజిట్ రిలేటెడ్ వచ్చిన హిస్టారిక్ స్పెసిఫిక్ రాసుకున్నారు. నెక్స్ట్ ఐఎస్ఓడిఏకి విఎస్, ఓకే, దీన్ని ఐఎస్ఓ X0 అనే ఫార్మాట్ లో కన్వర్ట్ చేశారు. నెక్స్ట్ అగైన్ మ్యాప్ వేరియబుల్స్, ఓకే. సో ఇది విఎస్ ప్రీడోస్ అనే ఒక డేటా సెట్ ఉండేదో, సో దాన్ని కూడా ఏంటంటే డిఎంటీ వేరే డిఫరెంట్ ఫార్మాట్ లో ఉందని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళు కన్వర్ట్ చేసుకుంటారు. బేసిక్లీ ఏమి అంటే చేసింది ఏంటంటే ఆ డేటా సెట్ లో వచ్చిన డేట్స్ డిఫరెంట్ ఫార్మాట్స్ వాళ్ళు క్యాప్చర్ చేశారు. ఓకే, సో ద ఫస్ట్ డేటా సెట్ ఇస్ దట్ ఐడిఎం రా డేటా సెట్. ఓకే, మీరు ఇక్కడ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నారు, బట్ వైల్ యూ రైటింగ్ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్, వైల్ యూ చెకింగ్, ప్లీజ్ రిఫర్ CRF as well as the your specification. Okay, so if you're doing the one program means obviously the spec and ACRF should be ready. Okay, you are doing now, right? So you can write the spec as well as a program. So please practice in that way. Okay, so బేసికల్లీ ఇక్కడ ఏంటి అంటే ఐడిఎం అనే ఒక డేటా సెట్ ఉంది. ఇక్కడ మనకి ఈ డేటా సెట్ లో నుంచి ఐడిఎం లో నుంచి ఏంటి అంటే వెయిట్ ఒకటి క్యాప్చర్ అయింది. ఓకే, సో ద వెయిట్ అనేది ఒకటి క్యాప్చర్ అయింది. సో ద వెయిట్ క్యాప్చర్ అయింది కూడా ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు నాకు ఒకటి చెప్పండి, ప్రోగ్రామేటికల్ గా ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డేటా హారిజాంటల్ ఉంది. ఓకే, సో మనకి ఫైలింగ్ డొమైన్ అనేది వర్టికల్ గా కావాలి. సో ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ప్రకారం ఎట్లా చేయగలుగుతారు? ట్రాన్స్పోజ్, ఇంకా ట్రాన్స్పోజ్ ఒకటేనా పాసిబుల్, ఇంకేం లేవా? అవుట్పుట్ అవుట్ ఉంది కదా, సో అవుట్పుట్ మల్టిపుల్ టైమ్స్ అవుట్పుట్ చేస్తాం. అంటే డేటా ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి, మనం వేరియబుల్ కి అవుట్పుట్ చేస్తాం. అంటే ఒక్కొక్క పారామీటర్ ఒక టెస్ట్ కి అవుట్పుట్ చేస్తాం, ఇంకో టెస్ట్ కి అవుట్పుట్ చేస్తాం. బట్ వెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ ద మల్టిపుల్ టెస్ట్ అండ్ టెస్ట్ సిరీస్ ఇట్ వుడ్ బి బిట్ హెక్టిక్. So, but when you doing the transpose, it's a very important that much relation you need to understand. Okay, so it's up to you. Whichever you are confident, you can write a output out, or if you can write a transpose. Okay, so if you have comfortable with the output, then we have the multiple parameters. Then you can write a small macro and call each and every parameter. So at the end, you can append all the data sets. Okay. So here what they did, just give the vitals as related variable names based on the spec. And then VSTPT, they have assigned constantly VSTPT as a at birth. Okay. If you remember, this is the infant study. Okay. So the weight is captured in the study. It is mentioned in the birth weight birth. Okay. So whenever the newborn baby, they have taken the birth weight. That is the weight here. It is the captured. Okay. So this is the VA test. Okay. The weight. Okay. We are assigning the constant. I can always remember this will be in the prop case. Okay. Okay, and then VS destiny will be in the up case. Okay, based on your code list. If you open the control terminology, each and every test and destiny you have a code list. Okay, so that is mentioned in there. Okay, so the VS over is this is the variable is captured the result. Okay, for example, IDM. If you open this data set, raw data set. Okay, so this is the birth date. Okay, okay, so the user subject ID which is created. Okay, visit related information. Okay, listen to where it is. This variable name that is Denver birth weight. Okay. That's what I'm looking for the weight. I think this is the one. Okay. So this is the one. I think they have captured in the milligrams. Even it's not grams, right? Grams only. Grams. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here, yeah, correct. Okay, so basically we have assigned VS or is equal that variable, and always remember that. Okay, when you are doing the one-to-one mapping, if it's a character, better to use the strip. Okay, if it's a numeric, the proper format you will be reading fine or not. The values are getting properly validated. I mean, populated or not. Okay, this is your responsibility to check. So when you run a program, go and check, and then output is getting properly or not. Okay. So this is the VSDTC is that. Okay, we have previously called the ISO 860 macro. So that is the intermediate variable which is generated from that macro. They are going to use for VSDTC. Okay, we are going to do the one-to-one mapping. So if you don't want to use that macros, okay, it's up to you. You can write your own program and then assign it. Okay, so you already know how the ISO 860 format looks like and what is the steps you already did. Okay, in the initial stage. Okay, so is the data set new world. Okay, so if you see, this is the data set. Okay, the intermediate data set is looking like this. Okay, VS RRS, VS test. Okay, so whenever you are doing the output or the multiple set statements, okay, so just to do the one-to-one mapping and then standard conversion, the derived variables you can do at the end. Okay, so the weight is coming from one data set. Vitals is coming from another data sets. Okay, different is coming from the different data set. So don't do the each and every data set, the complete programming and that. Okay, just to do the one-to-one mapping. At the end, once you append all this, then you can go for the derived variable. What is the derived variables? Okay, static calculations. Okay, this is the finding domain baseline flag. Okay, so if there are visit slotting things. Okay, the sequence. Okay, these kind of derived things from the particular data set you can do at the end. Okay. So just check this, okay? The data set is getting properly output or not, okay? So it is getting properly outputted, okay? And then what are the variables you require for this? Just keep only those variables in the keep statement. Why? Because in the finding domains, when we have the multiple data, so when you find up the things and then at the end, when you are doing things, so your variable would be like 700, 800, okay? So what is the problem if you do that? Okay, it will take the runtime, it will take the more runtime, okay? So your program will take to run extra time, okay? So when you do some manual checks, and it will take additional efforts to find the variable and all these things, okay? So that's why always what are the required variable, try to keep each and every step that variables only. So it will give the efficiency of program. Okay. So the why? Because this is a very small data sets. Okay. Some of the data set. Okay. In my career, the one of the QS will take 22 hours to rerun. 22 hours to rerun the data set. If I'll submit for the rerun today, the next day morning it will be done. Okay. So remember that much complex data. How you are going to work on the mismatches. If the small data is, I'll rerun and we'll get the mismatches. I'll check, okay, if I am correct, then I'll give it to the opposite person to comment. If I am wrong, then I'm going to update. But to check the mismatches, how much time? If I rerun, the output will generate the next day. Okay. In the complex data and the programs, if you do file up these things, it will increase additional hours. Okay. If it's the small data, you don't remember, I don't observe that. It will be in the microseconds. Okay. When it comes to large data, it will be in the hours. Okay, so the keep in mind when you're doing something, so please keep only the required whether that's a good programming practice. Okay, so the next data set VS PR. Okay, pre-dose is nothing but what we call as a pre-dose. So usually we use this term in the many times. What it means, the pre-dose. Okay, what it means before the drug. So the before drug what? The meaning is before drug. I give the vital signs, right? Yeah, exactly. So pre-dose, yeah. So the before test drug, okay. When we called it as a pre-dose, before test drug, the latest vital assessment. Okay. For example, for the one of the subject is planned for the today morning 10 a.m. The test drug we are going. I mean, he is going to take the test drug morning 10 a.m. There is plan for it. Okay. So if it's a 9:55 a.m. the vitals captured, that we can call it as a pre-dose. Or else it's a morning 8 o'clock is captured, that is called as a pre-dose. So or else yesterday it is captured, after that there is no assessment and vitals for the before test drug, then the yesterday one is the pre-dose. Basically, before taking the test drug, what is the latest assessment which we can call it as a pre-dose? Okay, so the before taking the drug, vitals is captured multiple times, I mean the latest, which we can call it as a pre-dose. Okay. So again, this data set was captured, okay, and the VSTPT is the pre-dose. Why? Because it is captured for the pre-dose. Okay, so the VSTPT number is also for 2. Okay, this is the standard constant intervals which we can assign. Okay, so pre-dose and the VSTPT number, what is the pre-dose is for the this one. Okay, is the post-dose, then that is with a different thing. Okay, so the VSTPT number is assigned as a 2. So if you remember here, okay, here they have assigned arrays. Everyone knows arrays, right? Okay, the same thing which we are going to repeat and repeat for the same variables, we are going to assign array and then we do the same operation every time. Okay, so what is the information which is going to capture multiple times in the different variables? The operations will be same. What you are going to do, whether you are going to create a macro or it's a standard term, then you are going to create an array. Depends. Okay, so basically when it assign the array, so array dimension should be important. Dimension, right? So what is the array dimension? Okay, how many variables we actually are going to use for this? Okay, so this is the for test they have created one array, test CD array, and then units and then results. Okay, so further based on that they have defined array length. Okay, so first test it will give the pulse rate one test, respiratory one test. Okay, temperature one test, and then what else? Weight is one test. Okay, height is one test. Okay, it means the pre-dose level they have captured these are all assessment. Okay. So obviously each and every test study will have the test will have the test study based on your core list control much. So these are the test names. Okay. The inits also constant, right? From your CRF. So obviously we can also that also we can define in the array. So that is defined here it is. Okay. The ORRES. ORRES is nothing but the your raw variable which is captured your result. Okay. Weight means how much weight. Vitals means what is the CCBP, that particular 140 or 90 or that captured in a raw variable. So that we are defining here. Okay. So please remember when you are doing the arrays, this order of array should be same. Okay. So for example, you have assigned the pulse. The next array it should be the pulse only the first. If you alter the things, it will get the clumsy and then it will assign for the one result to another test. Okay. So this order, the units and the raw variable also should be in the same order. Okay. So now, so we have defined our test CD result variable and the units in one array, and then we can use the do loop. If you pass that array into the loop, then we'll do the same iteration for the thingy. Okay. So how many iterations here we have? 5, right? So in the last iteration, what would be my I value? When it comes to the end of the step, in the PDB, what is my I equal to value? 5 or 6? 6. Okay, and why 6? We have defined only 5, right? What? And stop about it.
So it will check, sir. It will check the data
Okay.
చిన్న డేటా ఉందో లేదా చెక్ చేసుకొని స్టార్టింగ్ వెళ్ళి ఇలా చెక్ చేసుకొని వేరియబుల్స్ ఏం లేకపోతే మనం ఇచ్చేస్తాం.
Exactly, that's correct. Okay, so whenever you do the do loops and the, okay, how it is loop work? Okay, so you are assigning to the particular step. Okay, do I equal to 1 to 5. You are saying that, okay, your loop will be 5 times, should be run. Why? Because your array dimension would be 5. Array dimension, when we called as array dimension, your variables would be 5. Okay, the same thing you are going to repeat for the 5 times. Okay, so you define your array and then you know the how much time array loop will be run. So now you define the 1 to 5. Okay, then so the each and every time the first, what is the first iteration, what is the value 1, that will come and then check here. So what is the, from this array, what is the value number 1? Pulse rate. So the first step it will iterate the pulse rate and the pulse and the beats per minute and the VS plus. Okay, then it will output. Before going to execute the end statement, go and check the first again, is there any other dimension which is pending. So again it will, obviously it's a 1 to 5, then it will take 2 and then 3, so on until 5. So the last value, what it is, the last value height, I think, okay, that will be output, and then go and back check to the, again, is there are any pending iterations. So the 1 to 5 is that your array dimension. So obviously it's a 5 times executed. So the sixth time the I value will take 6 and then go and check here, there is no iterations pending, then it will go directly and execute the end state. So that's why the array, sorry, your I value in the PDB. Okay, this is the intermediate variable which is created in the PDB. So in the PDB your I value will be 6. Okay. Okay. So basically in the finding domains, if the data is in the horizontal structure, how many ways to create a program? Then now tell me. One is transpose, other one is output, third one is the arrays. Okay. So whichever is comfort, you can create. Yes, okay, so this is your VSDTC. Okay, remember that. Okay, if it's the same day, time will be captured for sure. Okay, so obviously drug means whenever it is going to give the test drug, obviously it will capture the date and time. So when we are talking to the free dose assessment, just before that, so obviously it's at 10 a.m. then 9:55, 9:50, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, so the time also will captured. Okay, so when we are defining that this PSTPT, TPT nums, pre-dose, this kind of thing, most of the cases time also will capture. Okay, this is a variable we have mapped. Okay, and remember, while you are in the programming, some of the variables will capture in the SDTM variable naming convention nowadays. Okay, it means your raw variable and SDTM variable will be same way. So don't confuse. Okay, if you want, you can rename it in the very starting itself itself. Okay, later you can reassign the things. If it's a character, you strip thing, and then it's a numeric, you can convert and then use it. Okay. So if you see, this is our test CD and ORRS. Okay. So these are the things, and based on the units. Okay, that's a pre-dose and that's a test CD, and then TPT num. So it means your finding data looks like this. Okay. Is it clear for everyone? Okay, no questions. Then we'll move to further. The next, this is the VS post-dose dataset. Okay, this is the study they have captured, I think, pre-dose and post-dose. Okay, it means just before to given to the drug, they have captured vitals, how it is. Okay, after the some time point, okay, post-dose also will be captured. Okay, so here again the same variables. Here again the length and the VSTPT for the post-dose is 3. Okay, so VSTPT num post-dose is 3, VSTPT is the post-dose. Okay, again the same array. Post-dose what captured? The pre-dose we have captured the entire vitals. Okay, says BP, diabetic, we don't have BP, right? We don't have, right? Pulse and the time, okay, height and weight, this thing. Okay, when the post-dose they have captured only the pulse and temperature. Okay, so these are the things they have captured, pulse and temperature. Okay, and then now we have only two tests captured post-dose. So we are assigning these two only. Okay, the same thing. Again, your I will be same, right? So if you remember, if you understand the vital signs structure, not vital signs, any finding domain structure, your raw data structure, then your job would be easy for the finding domains. The only one thing is that when it comes to some lab parameters, the only lab thing that will give the sum of things. The remaining all finding it's a straightforward same variable structure will have all test result and then it is captured for the different time points on the visit. Okay, so it means your one-to-one mapping similar, your derived variables means baseline flag will be similar. Just it will change the variable names based on your domain, and then your visit sorting will be similar for the particular study. Your sequence will be similar. Okay, and then what else? Your EPUB will be similar. So everything will be similar. If you write one program, just you can edit for the other domain. It will be easy. Okay. So the same thing will be repeated here. So here we have the same information captured for the whole nodes and then the same horizontal structure to vertical structure which we have done. Okay. పోయిందా ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇప్పుడు అలా మళ్ళీ ఓపెన్ చేయాల్సిందని ఇంకా వేరే రిట్రీవ్ అది ఆప్షన్ ఏమి ఉండదు కి రాదనుకుంటా మామూలుగా 5 వర్షన్లో అయితే మనకు ఒక ఆప్షన్ ఉంటుంది బ్యాక్ చేయడానికి వచ్చు. నేను మళ్ళీ ఓపెన్ చేద్దాం. ఇక్కడ ఇందులో రావాలి కదా సేవ్ చేయాల్సిందే నేను. Okay. So now we have map one-to-one mapping. So the data we have transformed to the SVM structure for the different data sets. Now we are going to do some the derived variables thing. Okay, this part. Okay. So here we have the remember in the all finding domains based on your visits. Okay, this will be planned thing. Okay, so when you open the protocol, your time and event scheduler, schedule of assessment page will explain what all are the assessment is going to capture in the which visit. Okay, your vitals will be planned. It will capture for the screening in the pre-dose, post-dose, visit 3, visit 5, and so on. Just I'm giving an example. So it means based on your time point intervals that will capture in the study. Okay, that is the planned thing. If they happen in the as per plan, then it's fine. Sometimes it may not happen with the plan. Okay, that is captured in the different. That should be supposed to capture the today and then it is captured tomorrow. So that is in general I'm explaining it's an unscheduled visit, right? The scheduled thing is planned for today and then he comes tomorrow due to some reason. Okay, so that is unscheduled visit obviously. Okay, so the unscheduled visit. So then even it's a scheduled visit means based on your trial visit TV domain, we'll have the all scheduled visit num and then visit TV everything. But unplanned thing, it's not mentioned. The unplanned is we never know. When it happened to whether when which subject is going to happen for the unplanned, we never know. So if it's happened in the study, then we need to handle unplanned visits. So unplanned visit, how we can plan it is that, for example, so if we have the 101 subject unplanned visit, okay, we have the visit 1, visit 2, visit 3, visit 4. Okay, just I'm giving the normal example. Okay, so after visit 2, in the visit 3, they have captured, they are going to plan the capture for the vitals or any finding domain related. But due to that reason, the subject came and then the investigator or the technician will not take they forgot an instrumental problem or anything. Again, they will come tomorrow. The planned visit is done and then again they will come tomorrow and then it's happened. So we know that there is the unplanned visit. But we need to handle in the SVM standards as well as the programmatically that visit is unplanned. So what we are going to do is that, okay, so that all scheduled visits based on your SV program, your TV, and then we are going to map the scheduled visits, okay. So the particular domain we are going to match with the SV, then so it will fetch the visits, okay. So the unplanned thing, so unplanned how it is handled it is, okay, based on subject, all possible visits and all assessment related thing, they will take from the all raw data set, okay. So for the schedule thing, you know, they'll assign, okay. For unscheduled thing, they'll assign with some name, an intermediate name, and then they will sort all yours based on subject and the date wise, okay. For example, if the unscheduled what is the unscheduled record that will fall in any two scheduled visit, right? For example, subject is having a unscheduled visit after visit 2. So based on the dates and everything, when we sort, it will fall between visit 2 and visit 3, right? Obviously. So if you sort the date based on the date, means visit 2 is happened yesterday. Visit 3 is going to happen in the after 3 days. So today is the unscheduled visit. When we sort with the dates, obviously it will fall in between 2. Okay. So once the sort with the date and unscheduled visit is going to handle the previous scheduled visit plus 0.1. Okay, the previous scheduled visit now, for example, if it's a previous scheduled visit is 2, okay, if your visit is 2, then the 2.01. So it will increase. For example, your scheduled visit will be 2, okay, 2, this will fall under between 3, okay, 2, okay, first will come, this is talking about only visit now, okay, the later 3. But we have an unscheduled visit after them 2, then it will come like 2.01. 0.01 we are going to add. So we have another visit, unscheduled is the same duration. Then to the 0.2, okay, 2.02, like so on. Okay. Again, after visit it comes, then it will start from the 3.01. Okay. It means your unscheduled visit will be checking. It will fall any two scheduled visits. Then the previous scheduled visit num plus 0.1, we are going to do the unscheduled visit slotting. So this is the theoretical explanation. You can explain to the interviewer if they ask. As a programmatical, how we are going to do? You can already be unscheduled in every company. Organization will have their own macros. Don't need to do anything. These derivative thing. We have a pre-existing macros. But you need to understand that macro, whether it is giving proper output or not for your requirement. That is, you need to make sure. Or else it's a startup company, it's not a big company, they don't have the macros. Then you need to write a program. Okay. This is the unscheduled point. We need to check where in the code. Yes. ఇక్కడ ఉన్న macros మర్చిపోయాను. కనిపిస్తుంది ఇక్కడ unscheduled slotting లేదా yes. All schedule is captured in one data set. Unscheduled also will capture in the same data set. They will give some different identification find the unscheduled visits. Does anyone have out stop at 10:30 or 10:40? Everyone is fine that we can continue 5 to 10 more minutes. Yes, sir, we can continue, sir. No problem for everyone, right? Okay. Okay, so we have wait on this unscheduled part. The term data does not exist. SV data does not exist. Okay. ఇక్కడ చూసిన పిల్లక మాత్రం నేను నాకు ఇస్తాను కదా ఫైన్ కదా This is the entire visit. We find uh, this one. This is a change. This one. Okay. That is sweet. Okay, editing there is a second. Seguro है ना? The temp does not exist. There, yes, that is. I can't. Sure.